Hey, welcome.
Good morning.
Hi, Brian&Carrie in the morning. This is a pre-show.
It is indeed.
10 minutes of fun. But today's topic we are going to be talking about is the 3 habits of highly successful parents. Why raising exceptional kids has a lot less to do with them and a lot more to do with you.
Yes.
And why are we doing that show today?
We're doing that show today because the other day we put out a question asking some people, or asking our community if they had any questions about topics they'd like us to cover on the show. And we actually got quite a few questions with regards to parenting.
Parenting came up an awful lot.
Absolutely. There was one lady who said that, she tries to instill expectations in her kids, and yet she feels like her children are running her life. That was essentially what she was saying.
It's not unrelatable to a lot of people, I'm sure.
Yeah, that was the core of what she was saying, and so she was asking us for some tidbits based on what we do. And I happen to think we have exceptional kids.
We do, but we've trained them that way.
We have.
And that's what we're going to talk about today.
And by training.
What is the training mechanism? What's conditioning?
It's conditioning, absolutely, yeah.
We always joke, and it is a joke, we always joke that raising a kid is not like raising a dog. You have to train it, right? But in reality, training and conditioning are the same thing. It's just one sounds horrible and one sounds real.
Yeah,
so.
absolutely.
Anyways, so hi.
Good morning, Gov.
Hey, look, Gov's here.
Gov is late to the show because he's late to the week because he just said to us, he said, "How did the shoot go the other day? Have you not been in Facebook land? It went fantastic."
It was a nice gesture.
But seriously, thank you for asking.
By the way, I have a question of the day.
Yes.
For all you watching right now, today's show is all about the 3 habits. Carrie is putting us.
I have to pull it up here, but apparently it doesn't want it.
Apparently not, because we're just going to get we're listening to ourselves now. So that's
there we go. We're good. Technical glitch.
Today's show is all about the 3 habits of highly successful parents or parenting. Here's our question of the day: what do your kids do that drive you crazy? Because we all have stories, and we're going to give you ours as well.
Yeah, and if you don't have kids and you have a dog or a spouse, you can chime in with that answer if you want as well. Can I give my answer?
As soon as I say it, just first of all, I want to say morning, y'all.
To Angel.
Right back to Angel, because she's in South Carolina.
Lovely message exchange with Angel.
Sweet woman. But morning, y'all.
And fight with each other is Angel's answer. She does not. She drives her crazy when her kids fight with each other.
Yeah, right. Okay, I can appreciate that. What drives you crazy?
Okay, so for Chase, my lovely son, the thing that he does that drives me absolutely crazy is when he taps or shakes incessantly, non-stop. And it doesn't bother me. Well, I can tolerate it for most of the month until I'm PMSing, and then we're done.
Yeah, then it gets a little bit.
We gotta work together. So that's mine for Chase. Yeah. What's yours?
Mine for Chase?
Yes.
I don't know if that kid bugs me.
Last day at the dinner table.
Okay. Chase is absolutely hysterical. He has got the funniest sense of humor, perhaps of anybody on the planet, but most assuredly of any child. Mm-hmm. He's just hysterical.
Yeah.
And he gets in the mood. Mm-hmm. And when he gets in the mood, you know he's in the mood because he won't shut up.
Yeah.
He'll just sit in his room by himself and talk to himself, and he'll come to dinner. But he's just hysterical. He'll tell jokes, he'll tell riddles, he'll say stupid, funny things. And sometimes he just does it to the point where I'm like, dude, could you shut the fuck up? Seriously.
Last night's comment, and Brian made this comment very funny last night. He's like, my problem with you when you're like this is I can't have a conversation with my family.
Because he just keeps going. I have highlight moments of Chase in my head. Carrie was training. You were training to compete in a fitness competition about 4 years ago. You gotta understand, Chase was 9 at the time. But his sense of humor is it's limitless in terms of age, because we were all prepping for dinner one day, and the kids were having their dinner, and you were having something different because you were in the final week of your show. And Chase goes like this. He goes, Mom, I've been thinking about this. I don't think you're gonna win. And then Carrie goes, geez, thanks, Chase. He goes, hey, I'm just giving you a heads up. What 9-year-old talks like that?
Right.
So he's just a funny kid. So anyways, okay, what What irritates you about Maya?
Can I just say, so a couple of people just chimed in saying like it bugs them when their kids are moody. So if you just tuned in, our question of the day is what drives you crazy about your kids? Like what do they do that drives you crazy? So we've got they fight, we've got that they talk back, that they're moody. And here I am thinking, I guess like...
I feel bad.
I feel bad. I'm like, crap.
Our son taps and tells jokes too often.
But that said, you know, what we're talking about today, which is, you know, the 3 habits of highly successful parenting is going to lead into why maybe this is the case that we don't have.
And what? Our kids don't really fight.
That's right.
Right? Yeah. But that's not on accident or by luck. No. Right? And we'll get to that in a second.
Used to fight.
It is. So Maya, what irritation with Maya? Because my irritation of Maya is I'm going to feel bad saying it.
Okay. So Maya, she is such a character. I'm trying to think because I know that Maya's very similar to me. And okay, I know what it is. Yeah. So she's very similar to me. So Brian's going to say right now that this is what you do, Carrie.
This is a Carrie Jr.
So Maya has this like insatiable need to drink liquids. So she's constantly stopped. So she always has.
But it's the way she drinks.
She has water, or she has like a bottle, but like she's always got something to drink, and that's totally. Yeah, I was gonna demonstrate.
Let's demo. Because it's not that she likes to drink; it's how she drinks it.
So she has like, I was gonna say, a bottle of water, right? And she's like sitting at the table at dinner. Okay, she has a bottle of water, and it's. Like it's like her like addiction, and I mean it's such a like funny little thing.
It looks like she's tweaking all the time.
I'm just like, really? Okay, the bottle's done.
I feel bad, man. Kids talk back, kids fight, and we're complaining because our kids fidget.
Well, we're not really complaining.
We're not complaining.
It's a little idiosyncratic behavior. So.
Here's where I'm going to finish feeling badly now. The thing that bugs me most about Maya, she sings all the time, and I know
it doesn't bother you as much as it bugs me.
It's lovely. It's lovely because our daughter's always happy. She's never in a bad mood. She's always singing. Man, you're gonna think I'm the worst like parent ever, but it's just
balance.
It's 24 hours a day, but she doesn't just like. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. No. Old MacDonald had a farm. That's Maya all the time.
So I have to add to the Maya story on the singing because you're right. Like it does. Like everybody, you know, I'm not. You know, nobody's gonna think this because you guys all know us, right? So you're not gonna think we're horrible parents.
No.
But so Maya, this has been Maya since she was a little girl. Like she starts talking the minute she wakes up or singing, and then she doesn't stop until she goes to sleep. Like since she was 4 years old, she's been like this, right?
Yeah.
So like she wakes up in the morning, and no joke, the second she's awake, she's singing something, right? Yeah. So usually it's quiet under her voice, but then it gets louder and louder and louder.
It's explosive.
The number of times, like I mean, the universe, God, whatever you know, your higher power is, put something special in that girl.
And it's gorgeous.
Because like we'll be in the back, we'll be driving to Toronto 5 hours, right? And Chase is right beside her. And he's like, you know, he's a teenage boy. He's kind of like in that, he's like space now. Yeah. And then Maya's like starts singing. And we're okay, like Maya, you know, like she goes for like 15 minutes. And we're like, okay, Maya, you know, give your brother a break. But like 2 seconds later, she starts, like, it's involuntary. She just does it. It's
and she crazy. Sings like she's Beyonce on stage. It's awesome.
I don't mind it until it gets to the like, when she gets all nasally.
Yeah, when she starts to sound like Taylor Swift or something. Anyways. But the whole point is that today's show is all about the 3 habits of highly successful parents.
Yes.
Right? And why raising exceptional kids has a lot less to do about them and a lot more to do about you. So, let me say this. A few good mornings to Sophie, to Diana over in Holland, to Trisha Gardner, who we love.
Yeah, who thinks that it's not the kid, it's just the kids' quirks.
It is. It's quirky stuff. I want to add something. It is. We have a beautiful share team, Brian&Carrie shareteam.com, and one of our premier members in that share team, Chris Goldowski, not how you pronounce his last name, but that's how we pronounce it. It's his birthday today, so a massive international shout out to Chris Goldowski. Happy birthday, sir. Wishing you many more.
I would have done you a Marilyn Monroe happy birthday wish on Wednesday had I known.
That would have been all right.
Right?
That would have been all right. So good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Happy birthday, Chris. Give Chris a little happy birthday if you could. Are you digging the idea of today's show? Give us some hearts. Give us some likes. Carrie's going to go start the other camera. Does today's show sound cool? The 3 habits of highly successful parents. Give us some thoughts. Does that sound good to you? You're welcome, sir. You're welcome, Chris. Yeah.
I am back like a flash. Is our
we're over there.
Yeah, I did on purpose today. Are shirts backwards?
All right, you know what? Our shirts are reading backwards to you.
I think
but
so.
That's because we have the camera backwards on purpose because we haven't yet figured out how to flip it the other way. We'll get there.
And Loria is going to be watching this.
We'll get
and
there.
She's going to laugh when she watches this. So yeah,
whatever.
Let's jump on in.
All right, let's roll out. So if you're watching this with us right now, please do us a favor, share this with your news feed. There are a lot of parents in the world, a lot of kids, a lot of strain, a lot of stress surrounding raising kids. It's one of the greatest problems and most difficult factors within a relationship or a couple's lives. So there are millions of people who need to understand the whole habits of successful parenting. So give us a share right now if you could. Mm-hmm. So let's start. Okay. Yeah, let's start. Where do we start? Here's where we're going to start.
Yeah. I could talk forever about this topic, especially given my background.
Yeah, well, Carrie has has a degree and is a clinical counselor and has a huge amount of experience working with kids. So I'm going to start us off by saying this. I'm going to turn it over to you.
Yeah.
We established a long time ago 2 truths regarding parenting. Number 1 is that you have to be simple about it. Mm-hmm. You have to be very, very simple. And can you guess what the next point is for those of you who've watched this before?
Ooh. Consistency.
You have to be consistent. You have to be consistent. So simplicity plus consistency applies to every aspect of life: fitness, business, relationships, and parenting. So because of that, we established years ago now this whole household 3. Mm-hmm. The 3 general philosophical values that we hold as very important in this family, and we relate it to our kids. But here's the simplicity on that is our kids don't get told innumerable rules nonstop all the time. Mm-hmm. They get told 3 things on a regular basis. Yeah. And we've learned to help them understand that behaviors that are inappropriate don't have to fall under the category outside of these 3 house rules. Right. Because we basically say, here, these are the 3 rules. What you did there, does that assimilate with this? The answer is no. Sure. So it's a very simple process, but here's the thing I want to make very clear: consistency. You have to state, restate, raise the expectations, state again, restate again, etc., etc., etc. I think one of the most challenging things for parents to understand is that you don't lay the rules down one time and all is well. You have to state and restate over and over again, but the more you're simplistic and consistent, the more there's adherence. So
yeah. I'm going to jump into the house 3 in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
But before I do that, I just want to, because I mean, you hit on so many like tidbits right there that every parent can relate to. Number 1, the consistency is so hard as a parent because most of the time you want to bang your head against the wall or your child's at like a given point in time.
Why don't you bang your own head?
And I think that one of the things that I always said when I was working in child development, and I would reinforce to parents, is to remember that your kids don't know what you know.
Yeah.
Right. So most of the world is new to your children, and as you are, as you're trying to condition them, like for example, like to tell the truth, not to lie, right? Well, we know what lying is, but kids don't know what lying is. Yeah. So there's an entire learning curve that's going on for them. That as parents, we often forget that they don't know what we know. Yep. So we get frustrated and we're like, well, why don't you get it already? We expect that after 3 times of telling somebody to do something as a child, that they're going to do it. Or
that they can rationalize it the way we could.
Right.
That's one of the greatest problems that parents have. Right. Your kids can't rationalize it the way you can.
Absolutely. So it's not going to happen that way, right? So with that said, yes, our house 3, and why did we establish this? Brian already touched on it. Is every parent can relate to don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do this. Oh, but you have to do this, you have to do that. You end up with so many rules that you can't even remember what the rules are anymore. I mean, do you remember when we first got together? We were like that. We're like, okay, what did we say that they could do about this? Like, it was so overwhelming. So it was a strategy for us to find simplicity, right?
100%, yeah.
So house rule number 1 is to always be honest and tell the truth.
Yeah.
That's number 1.
Can I point something out?
Absolutely.
House rule number 1 is not, don't lie.
Yes, and why is that?
Because we don't frame it as a negative. It's an affirmative angle, right? We're not saying to the kids, don't lie. We're telling them to tell the truth. Be honest always. That is unbelievably important. You don't set it up as a negative, you set it up as a positive. Can I talk about that one for a second?
Yes, you can.
Think about the way it transposes life, though, and this is something we thought about a long time when we built this house 3, right? At the age of 14, 15, 16, I think every parent of a teenager has a lobotomy. It's like we forget
what it was like
that we were teenagers at one time. And we have these amazingly high expectations for our kids that we never would have had amounted to when we were their age. It's like we forget all the stresses, all the challenges, all the hormones, all the peer pressure, all the everything when kids are teenagers. So when you start young with this mantra of always be honest, tell the truth, do you know what you create? Above and beyond everything else, okay? You create a relationship of trust with your kid. When Chase would come home and tell us the truth about what happened in school that day, when Maya would come home and tell us the truth about what happened in school that day, we wouldn't chastise.
Yeah.
I mean, we would discipline accordingly.
Yeah.
But there'd be no negativity, there'd be no raising voices, there'd be nothing that was emotionally challenging for these kids to deal with. And what does that lead to? It leads to 15-year-olds who will now come to you with their questions, with their challenges, with their difficulties.
Right.
That bridge is gapped years before.
Yeah, absolutely.
Years before.
And this, what you just said goes so much to the point of what we started with. Like, raising exceptional kids has more to do with you than it does with them, right?
Yeah.
And the reason I want to make that point right now is because, always be honest. Like, one of the things that we taught the kids from a very young age, and my mom taught this to me, is that there is nothing worse than telling a lie. So there is literally nothing you could possibly do. You could do drugs, you could smoke, you could steal something from the store. There is nothing you could do that would be worse than lying to me about it.
Yeah.
Right? So if that's the philosophy that you're going to carry and you're going to impart on your kids, you have to be prepared to follow through with that,
100%.
right? So, that, like Brian said, that doesn't mean that we don't have, discipline that goes into place, but we have to create an environment for our kids that they feel safe to come to us. If you fly off the handle and you yell and you scream at them, well, why would they have the reason to be honest with you? So you have to follow through with that.
It's actually worth noting that this House 3 and the consistency of it over the years has allowed us to stop reacting and respond better. Yeah. Because I got news for you, everybody, your kids are going to do stupid things. Yeah. They're going to do things that are not right. They're going to break the rules. They're going to engage in things you don't want them to engage in. But you've got to almost condition yourself along the process not to react, because reaction creates friction. Now you don't trust them, they don't trust you. It's all about now rebelling against mom and dad. It's got to be a placid household where everyone just keeps a cool head and everyone has a good relationship and we can talk.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what this House 3 is all about.
I'm going to tell a story about that because this just happened yesterday. It's a perfect example.
Yes, it was hilarious too.
So Chase comes home from school, and I love what you said, because kids are going to make mistakes. They're in the process of learning, right? So Chase came home from school, and it's important to note right from the beginning that he did not get a note in his agenda about this. So he had no reason to tell us about this. Okay?
Right. He could have let it slide and we never would have known.
And I'm going to tell the story exactly the way it happened. So he comes upstairs and he looks at us and he goes, I was a prick today.
Yeah, right? Can you imagine? Hey guys, how you doing? So I was a prick today.
And then he goes on.
Come on, that's hilarious.
Right? He goes on to tell us a story that he got into it with his teacher about a difference of opinion. Mm-hmm. And, it doesn't matter who was right or wrong in this situation. Yeah. The point was that he came home and he owned up to that he could have dealt better with the situation than he did.
Which is what he agreed to. He said it himself.
Right. And there was no way that we were going to know. So we've created this household of sharing and open and honesty, even in spite of the fact that we had no idea, that we would have never found out. So
there was no note in the agenda. There was no call home. Yeah. He could have kept it to himself. Right. He didn't.
So there you go.
So let me ask you a quick question. Are you enjoying this so far? Tell the truth. That's the number one expectation we always want to talk to our kids about. Always tell the truth. That bridges a relationship you have with your kids. And there's been all kinds of comments going on.
Angel just said, I have that problem. My kids lie about stuff and it drives me crazy. And Angel, your kids are young. Yeah. And I remember that. Remember when Maya?
The turtle?
She would be like,
remember the turtle?
No, Bobby.
Maya, when she was 5, came home from school one day with a 14-pound stuffed turtle in her knapsack, and I said to her, hey, where did you get the turtle?
Sorry, this story is killing me.
And she said, this turtle? And I said, yeah, that turtle. The 14-pound turtle? How many turtles are there right now? She says, the guy gave it to me.
Sorry, I can't stop laughing.
And I was like, what guy gave you a turtle? So she said, oh, the teacher. I was like, oh, well, what did your teacher give you the turtle for? And this is what she said. I don't know. So I said, what teacher? I'm going to write a note or call and thank him for the turtle and figure out why he gave it to you. She goes, well, it wasn't a teacher. It was just one of the helper teachers. I'm like, okay, well, tell me what his name is. I can call the school and figure out who it was. It took the girl 3 days to finally fess up that she stole the fucking turtle.
She found it on the floor.
She found it on the floor, liked it, picked it up, put it in her backpack. So, Angel, kids lie. It's not that they're mischievous or they're horrible or they're bad. Kids push boundaries. That's what they do.
Yep.
So when we overreact and we start to chastise, it changes the circumstances in a way you don't want it to. So we have the rule. Always tell the truth. Maya, are you telling the truth right now? Because you know that's a house rule.
Yeah.
Right? This predates the house rules, by the way. That was like 7 years ago.
Maybe it was in the early stages of house rules.
Yeah, right?
You know, God, we really could tell stories about this forever. I just want to add to that that Maya shaved part of her eyebrow off like 4 years ago, and like she would not fess up to this.
She would not relent.
Like we'd be like, baby girl, your eyebrow didn't just fall off. Like what happened to you? And like it was like 2 years later she finally said, yeah, I did it.
Yeah.
I was like,
Thanks, really?
Oh, so there you go.
So that's household rule number one. Here is number two, always work hard.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to take that one really quickly. And I really don't have a lot to say about it, to be honest. It's pretty self-explanatory. I think that for us, we played around with always do your best, always put your best foot forward. But we believe in work ethic. We believe that the harder we work, the luckier we get. We believe that when we want life freedom and a frictionless, happy, fulfilled life, the base core value of that is putting in some sweat equity.
Yep.
So that is what we've been instilling in our kids forever. Now, over the years, we've talked a lot about the whole work hard principle because like most, well, I shouldn't say most, but like some kids, our kids, well, Chase in particular, he doesn't really jive with school. It's not his favorite thing. But we talked to him about working hard in his passions, right? So I'll give you a case example. He may be a consistent B student, but I tell you right now, if you gave him a computer, he could take it apart and reassemble it to working order.
Yeah.
Because he's taught himself how to do those things. So, and I gotta be honest, this is a hard line we take on the whole school system. Do we love teachers? Yes, we do. We support teachers. Teachers are great. The school system sucks. The school system is broken. The school system is antiquated. And if you want proof of that, let me give you some proof. Our daughter right now is in grade 6. Okay? I was in grade 6 exactly 31 years ago. The homework I help her with almost every night is the exact same shit I was learning 31 years ago. Are teachers to blame for that? Of course not. It's not the teacher's fault. Teachers do the best they can with what they have, and I have no problem with teachers. But our school system is antiquated. So for me and Carrie, you must get A's and A pluses. Why? I didn't get A's in high school, did you? No. So what kind of hypocrite am I going to be by mandating my son and daughter have to get A's in school? Because always tell the truth doesn't just apply to our kids. It applies to us. So we can sit and talk to Chase and say, look, buddy, I got straight D's in school. I want to save you some strain and stress of that. I want to tell you why it's more important to pay attention. Look, I'll give you some school hacks. Pay attention in class. Take some good notes. You don't have to study as much when you get home, and it makes the exams easier. There's some hacks I learned. Yeah. But always work hard in the areas of passion that you have. That is a game changer in a kid's life.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And I think that in this this particular house rule, instilling the notion of better not perfect is really important, right? Yeah. Because like I think that, again, I think a lot of parents have expectations of perfection of their children. And look, like if that's you, no big deal. It's all good. Like perfection, I think we all have been raised to almost want perfection. But remembering that your kids we want them to aim to get better, not perfect. Because if we instill them with this perfection quality, what they end up feeling is that they're failing all the time, right? So by working hard means something different to everybody. And so as long as that they're maintaining that kind of focus. So
and working hard is an attitude. Yeah. Okay, can I add where we make sure we're emphasizing working hard. Like every Monday is garbage day here. So Chase helps me take the garbage out, okay? And we take it from the back patio, which is back there, through this living room, down the front stairs. It's a bit of a trek, and our front stairs are rather steep. But, like everybody in the world, Chase can get lazy sometimes. He can cut corners and, kind of just, be a little lazier than I want him to be. And those are the teaching moments. To you, it's maybe just garbage.
Right.
And to him, maybe it's just garbage. And I have 2 or 3 choices. Let it go because it's just garbage, number 1. Number 2, get mad at him for being lazy, which I don't, what is that? Who does that help?
Right.
Or number 3, use every moment as a teaching moment and say, listen, buddy, working hard is a house rule, and working hard is the cornerstone of your success and happiness. So adopt the attitude. Yes, it's just garbage day, but do it right. Yeah. You know what? I had to tell him that exactly once. That kid is a juggernaut, and same with Maya. Whether she's cleaning up the dishes at the end of the night or whatever she's doing, cleaning her room, don't lazy it. Don't be content to not give it your best.
Right.
And it's a house rule that has proven to be unbelievably huge for us.
Absolutely. I just want to give a quick shout out to Amanda Grover-Beaulieu, who's with us for the first time. Welcome to the show.
Good morning.
But I did read your question, and I'm actually going to come back around to your question at the end once we've done the house 3, because it's a great question and it actually kind of wraps it all up. So I'll leave you hanging on that.
This is my wrap up
until then.
Right there.
There you go.
Is that the same thing?
No, it's not.
Oh my God, we have 2 wrap ups.
And then the final one.
Actually, no, before we go on to that, I want to ask, give us some hearts. Give us some, do you like this so far? We got tell the truth and work hard. Did work hard resonate with you? Is that something you think kids should be held to a standard of at all times? And I also want to add one more thing. We're going to raise the bar, up the ante here on Brian and Carrie in the morning, every single episode. I want to get this particular episode to 40 shares. So if you've not shared this yet, please click share into your newsfeed and tell people why you should watch this episode. And if you have, feel free to share it again. I want 40 shares tonight.
This topic in particular, the parenting, our house 3, we've taught this a couple different times, and every time we teach it, parents are like, I don't know where this has been my entire life, but I'm so grateful for this. Like, I can't wait to institute this, right? Yeah. So
what is the final? The final house 3.
The final house 3 is be respectful.
Always.
Very simple.
Yes.
I think that, it seems like an obvious to be respectful, right? It's almost an obvious one. Why does it have to be a house 3? But this one covers for me the range of so many things. Be respectful to each other.
Yes.
Be respectful of your home. And like, I always come up with this example, like, like I remember this like so well 5 years ago, like every time, one of the kids would go to throw something in the garbage, they would miss. And it would land on the floor. Yeah. And like, so like the rule was make sure you put your garbage on the floor, right? But that's another rule. So as opposed to saying, just pick your garbage up, we asked them, like, which house 3 are you infracting?
Right.
Which one right now are you not following? And the answer is simple. Well, you're not being respectful of your space and the environment that we're in, right? So be respectful always of us, of each other, of the space, of yourself. And that really covers the gamut of everything.
It's also why our kids don't fight.
That's right.
Because we've conditioned them to understand, look, you're not being respectful to your sister, you're not being respectful to your brother, and nobody's being respectful for us. Yep. Because we don't want to have to listen to this. Yep. So that imparted year after year, month after month has changed. I mean, our kids don't so much as argue. Right. And I want to say this properly, they know better. Because it's not a respectful way to conduct yourself in this house. It applies to how you conduct yourself on the school bus, with your friends, with your teachers. Why do you think Chase came home yesterday and his first words were, I was a prick today?
And he also apologized.
He did. He apologized to the teacher and he apologized to us. Yeah. But I mean, that's huge. He came home to say, I was a prick today. Because he knows. Be respectful always is massive. Can I just do my closing too first?
Okay.
And then let you do the closing?
Don't steal mine now.
I would never.
No, I'm just joking. Go.
Here's the thing, okay? First of all, here's my 2 closing points, and they're both, I think, epically important to understand this house 3 and how it works. Number 1 is, yes, you remind your kids when they're not working hard. You remind your kids when they're not telling the truth. You remind your kids when they aren't being respectful. But much, much, much more importantly, you praise them when they are. That is what's caused the greatest difference in our kids' world. Too many parents think It's about establishing rules and then chastising their kids when they're not following the rules. It's the exact opposite. If you want your kids to toe the line and be the responsible, respectful people you know they are, then you have to do the work of praising them when they are doing what they're supposed to be doing. Yep. That is the number one way to make this work. It's not about chastising them when they fuck up. It's about praising them when they're doing exactly the expectations you've set out. Now, I set expectations there, which leads me to my very last point. What is it? The praise versus chastise is the second most important part of making this all work. What is the number one? What is the most important part of making this work? And why have we said today why raising exceptional kids has less to do with them and more to do with you? The expectations you place on your kids are expectations you must live. Do not show your kids by telling them what to do. Show them what to do. That is what makes this right. Our kids see us as a living, breathing example, being respectful always to each other, to waiters in restaurants, to strangers on the street, to our neighbors, and most of all, to our kids. We are respectful and we honor everything about respectful relationships. Our kids see us work hard every single day. They know the value of hard work because we have shown them the value of hard work. Right. And our kids see us tell the truth. When we make mistakes, we say it. When we have chastised Chase or Maya for doing something we thought they did wrong, only to give them a form to show us that we were actually incorrect, we apologize for making the mistake. We don't just play the I'm the parent, I'm the adult, you do what I say card. So you want to increase the expectations of your kids? Look in the mirror. Where are your expectations for yourself? Kids are mirrors of what they experience every single day. Give them the right mirror. That's how this works.
Yes. You know, I just realized we could do like 5 shows on this particular topic.
We really could.
Because there's so many things I want to say. But I'm going to come to your question, Amanda, at the end of this. So my takeaways from this, and Brian just hit on the first one. You have to be what you're asking your kids to be.
You have to.
Without question. The second thing I want to point out is that we know we're talking about parenting right now and kids, but this can apply outside of just a family dynamic, right?
Yes.
So in a workplace. Your workplace 3. You establish the culture in which you're trying to create. If you're the boss or the manager, whatever, you can create it in different places just outside of just being with kids. The next thing I want to say is that don't be afraid to create your own house 3. Maybe these 3 don't resonate specifically with your own morals and values. We've never had, I have to admit though, I think we've covered the gamut on this because I've never had anybody come back and say, I have a different house 3. But, so create your own, make it your own. And then the final point is coming up to Amanda's question, because Amanda asked at the end of the honesty portion, she asked, how do you like stop like a perpetual liar? Like, what do you do to get them to actually stop, right? So number 1, of course, is to institute the house 3. And no, it's not going to work right away.
No, it takes time.
It takes consistency and repetition.
Should add, Maya was a perpetual liar.
She was.
For many years.
Absolutely.
She lied.
Absolutely. And I'm just going to wrap that up into like the second, like, so it's kind of like an adjunct portion to this topic. Is your kids have to understand the impact of what happens if they don't follow the house 3. Right? So if there is a breach of the philosophy, the compass, the rules of the house, there is going to be impact, right?
Yes.
And so in our house, what we did is like, I think that, timeouts and those things, like, I think we've all tried everything. But one of the things that we found in our home was that the thing that the kids wanted the most was actually time with us.
Yes.
So for them, they recognize that if you breach the house 3, it actually throws off the entire balance of our home. Right? So if you come home and we have to spend 45 minutes talking about what you did wrong, or we have to go to school to meet with teachers, well then, our job on the team is to work and to make money and provide for them. So we have to amend our day for that. So it just throws off the whole balance and the harmony of our family functioning, and then they end up losing out on the things that they really want.
Right.
And that was really what changed it all. Like they started to recognize, like, you know, we use the concept of team. So we're a team in our house, and there's nobody who's more important on this team than another person. We all have a job to do. And if I mess up on my job, it impacts everybody else.
Right.
And if the kids mess up on their job, it impacts us.
Sure.
So we work to kind of just keep our jobs in place,
sure.
right? So there you go, Amanda. Sorry.
And my comment on that is, remember to praise when the truth is being told.
Absolutely.
It conditions them differently. So beautiful show, guys. I wanted just to shout out really fast to Tiffany, who made a great comment just saying, hey, everybody should share this because this is, you know, share this in your news feed because so many people need to hear about parenting. Great story by Amanda about scraping a car and then writing a note and leaving it on the car with her daughter. That's a beautiful story and a great example. We want to get to 40 shares today, people, so please, if you've not yet shared, please do. And if you have, feel free to share again. And that leaves us
to BG's closing thoughts.
BG's closing thoughts. I like the hearts coming across the screen right now. So, if everybody ready for closing thoughts? Give me a little heart, a little thumbs up.
I'm timing Brian.
Bubby. That's what I'm calling this house. You timed me 2 minutes, right?
2 minutes.
All right.
Ready? Go.
Today's closing thoughts. Okay. So, in 1990, I was 16 years old, and that's the very first time I ever walked into a health club or a gym in my entire life. And I was 16, and therefore I was full of testosterone and a lot of arrogance. But underneath all of that arrogance and testosterone, I was insecure, quite frankly, as most teenagers are. There's one person at that gym who caught my attention, though. Her name was Debbie. She was a personal trainer at that gym, and she was also a professional bodybuilder. And I never really talked to her a whole lot. I mean, in passing, I'd say hi to her and she'd say hi to me. But I never silently watched anybody more in my entire life than this one person. She killed every single workout. She outworked everybody in the gym. She brought her best to every single day. It was not only easy to tell, but it was infectious and it was contagious. And she had a huge impact on this very young person when I was 16 years old about what work ethic really meant, what being excellent every day really meant. And I never really thanked her for it. I never forgot Debbie even a day in my life, even though it's been 27 years since I've seen her. Well, Carrie and I went back to Toronto, where I'm from, this past Christmas, and true to form for our lives, we went to a local gym to have a quick workout when we got there. And I almost dropped my dumbbell when I saw walking across the gym floor was Debbie, somebody who I had not seen in 27 years. She looked remarkably the same. I knew who she was in an instant. And I went over to her and I said, hey, I know you don't know who I am and I know you don't remember me. To which she agreed. She had no idea who I was. But I thanked her for the work ethic she showed me 27 years before. I thanked her for showing me what bringing excellence to every single day really means 27 years before. And I told her that a lot of the successes I've had in life and business over the years have been directly related to the example she gave me when I was an impressionable 16-year-old. So my closing thought today is simply this. We talk a lot this time of year about New Year's resolutions and how we want to lose weight and how we want to make more money, how we want to find the love of our lives this year. I'm going to implore you instead to live the greatest life you possibly can. Bring the greatest version of yourself to this day and every single day. So much so that 27 years later, somebody you don't remember comes up to you and says, thank you. You changed my life and you don't even know it. And that is my closing thought.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Look at this. I made a whole diagram. So I am a doodler. And I love to sketch when people talk. And everything that Brian just said there, it was so, you know, I basically just mapped out what I was feeling as you were talking that through. So I'm just going to show this up on the screen. I don't know if you guys can see that. Brian's got longer arms than me. So at the bottom, it says insecure. So Brian was this insecure 16-year-old, and he was raised up, right? He was elevated by observing and watching what was going on around him. And that is a product of the circle of influence, the people who he surrounded himself by. So we talked about that a little bit the other day. Surround yourself by good examples for you to help you raise up, but then also be that example. Be the example for someone else, because you never know if someone's watching.
You never know. Stop looking for better influences in your life. Be a better influencer. Yeah. So with that, that takes care of Brian and Carrie in the morning for this week. Thank you so much for watching. 40 shares is what we're looking for today, folks. So share this video right now if you could. We'll be back next Tuesday with the next episode of Brian and Carrie in the morning.
See you then.
Chat soon.
Bye.